The summer of 70 didn't just scorch the town, it burned through the edges of who I was. Beneath the sweltering heat, something inside me began to unravel, something I didn't know was waiting to be awakened. Longing for the past. My husband, a wanderer, the salesman, often wandered off, abandoning me to stew in our cramped home. Alone, the sheets cling to me like a second skin. That night, beneath the full moon's eerie glow signaled a shift. Aloft. As I lay there, unable to move, seek tranquility as the oppressive heat envelopes surrounding me. Then, I felt a unexpected arrival, close by. Leo stood under the moonlight, his eyes catching something ancient, too knowing, too still. When he stepped closer, the air changed. His warmth touched my skin like a memory I never lived. Fear didn't rise immediately. What rose was fascination. And that scared me more. The boundary between right and faded wrong, and in the gentle light, I found myself trapped in an exhilarating experience. Intimidating. However, the subsequent twist unfolded could change the direction of all things. During the summer of 70, the heat was unyielding, pouring down, a glimmering mist enveloping our charming, modest town. The sun blazed overhead. We're penetrating every aspect of our modest dwelling, transforming rest into a rarity, a treasure beyond my comprehension. My husband, a traveling salesman, often wandered off, abandoning me alone in our bed, the sheets wrapped tight to my skin like an unwelcome shadow. Stratum. That night was etched in the moment when everything began. Blossom beneath the full moon's glow. A silver light filtered through the fragile curtains, changing the room into a domain of celestial radiance. In a subtle gesture, in defiance of the sweltering heat, I began to drift into slumber, free from the limits of PJs. A decision I had never summoned, the bravery to create alongside my husband, my perspective. It was exhilarating, an experience, almost like a hidden gem. The refreshing breeze brushed against me, bare skin. That evening, I discovered myself restless, tossing and turning as the house's stillness was interrupted only by the constant ticking of a grandfather clock stands in the hallway. In stillness, my thoughts wandered. They often reflect on the growing divide that had emerged in marriage, formed between us, not just in emotions. A shift occurred. The chamber. A subtle, almost imperceptible, echoes of rustling leaves, a whispered secret exchanged. I began, my eyes bracing for the familiar shadows that remain in our sleeping quarters. Instead, I found Leo, our loyal friend, quietly awaiting at the bed's foot. His gaze ensnared. The moonlight shimmers with depth. It felt nearly alive. I grinned, envisioning his desire for my husband. In this, I discover comfort in my business. I reached out my hand softly, gently stroke his head. A disquieting sensation overwhelmed me. Leo took on a role that transcended simple comfort. His eyes captured an enthralling depth, pulling you in its abyss. The air grew heavy, throbbing with an energy that escaped my comprehension. My heart began to hasten, not from fear, but from exciting anticipation. Leo moved closer, his warmth surrounding me, his breath whispered tantalizingly against my neck. At that moment, I should have stepped back and raised my sound. Still, I felt trapped, a feeling that was both disquieting and exciting. In the gentle light of the dusk, illumination blurs the boundaries of morality, started to diminish, crafting a tapestry of mystery and doubt. The subsequent morning arrived, and I jolted awake to find the sun already shining, blazing, casting bold shadows that glided through the room. Events unfold. The remnants of the previous night hung in the thoughts like an enchanting story spun from the strands of an imagination that felt excessive, captivating to thrive in the stark light of truth. The burden of regret and the haze of uncertainty was palpable, bright. My view of Leo had changed completely. Every look he threw my way showed nothing, just the beloved dog I once adored, yet a mysterious presence that slipped away from my grasp. Questioning the core of the connection we share. As the days passed, a relentless heat wave lingered, delivering a series of sleepless nights followed. The house buzzed with life, ready and alert, on the brink of excitement, unveiling a long-buried secret. Additionally, one evening, as I prepared myself, once again, I find myself alone at night, heard the front door creak open. Miles returned earlier than expected, but instead of comfort, his presence pressed down on the house like judgment. His eyes moved slowly, scanning the bedroom, landing for a moment on Leo. He said nothing. But in that nothing, I heard everything, clutched my stomach. What if he found out? What is the truth? What if he could sense the concealed reality that has emerged? What was there between us? The atmosphere was heavy, with eager expectation. As I uncovered his belongings, I discovered myself considering if this signified the conclusion of a chapter, the thrilling beginning of a new journey. Completely. Miles, my husband, was a man of routine. His presence in our home felt steady as the dawn each day. Today, his early return caused a disruption, the rhythm of our collective being. Similar to an unexpected note in a familiar melody, he greeted me with a tired smile. I gripped my suitcase tightly and noticed his journey left deeper marks, deeply into his features. What stories do you have from the trip? I asked, my tone a bit raised, excessively upbeat, as if I could dispel the depth of my regret with clarity, joyful energy. He sighed heavily and placed the suitcase hit the floor with a thud, echoing in the silence of the home. It's wonderful to be back. I've been thinking of you. His words held purpose. For solace, they coiled around me like a tight grip, leaving me breathless for air. I dove into making him a cup of coffee. My hands trembled slightly as Miles measured the grounds with precision, settled into his cherished chair. I watched him from the kitchen. A moment captured, unraveling like a chapter from a beloved novel. The familiar image of him now brings an unexpected air to our home, disturbing profundity. He recounted stories of the sales, winding roads, countless. My mind was consumed by the previous night's events, how Leo's gaze held a whirlwind of emotions, whirling inside. It felt like a piece of my essence had turned against both Miles and even against myself. The machine emitted a gentle hiss, drawing me in, returned from my musings. I went up to him. Our fingers brushed gently with the mug, brushing against one another as I handed it over. Thanks, love, he said, his voice enveloped in a comforting familiarity, cadence that now felt like a facade. I sat opposite him, silent, space between us filled with the unspoken narratives. Were there any intriguing? What stories emerged while I was away? He asked, his eyes searching mine. I inhaled deeply, the lie poised to slip from my lips. Oh, just the familiar story. Leo has been feeling. His attachment has grown in your absence. Recently, Miles chuckled softly. He raised his coffee cup to his lips. That's mine. Small. It was evident to me from the start that his allegiance was to me, not to you. The words cut deep, not because of their falsehood, but due to, they highlighted the absurdity of mine. In this moment of crisis, I discovered, struggling with guilt, regarding an event that, when seen in the clarity of daylight was utterly striking, absurd, yet deeply disturbed the essence of my marriage. The day progressed, like a well-known story, cloaked in the guise of routine. Miles found his place. We prepared a meal and shared it. Simple and casual conversation, light and airy, avoiding anything too heavy, deep. But as night descended, the unease returned as I gazed over. Leo lounged comfortably beside Miles. His tail thumped rhythmically against the ground, against the floor, a stark indication of his joyful. We nestled in that night. As Miles drifted off to sleep, he glimpsed my uncertainty looms. Is everything okay, my dear? He asked, his hand reaching out to touch against my shoulder. I nodded, shaping a smile that seemed somewhat forced. Perhaps it's just the warmth it possesses. It's been a tough battle. He sketched me. His warmth enveloped me, and in a fleeting moment, I relished the comfort of the essence of our closeness, lives intertwined as he slipped into rest. My mind drifted, reflecting on the night with Leo. The thrill of uncertainty, shame. The night faded, granting peace, merely beyond grasp. I lay back, in harmony, to Miles's steady breaths, feeling I carried it like a hidden flame under my ribs, small, but deadly. Every smile I gave Miles, every silence I kept, only fed it. The moonlight painted everything in silver, but nothing felt pure anymore. I had become a ghost beside the man I loved. Leo's silence filled the room. A striking, in stark contrast to his vibrant energy, delivered only the previous night. As the clock crept toward midnight, after an hour, a soft padding sound caught my attention. Auditory organs. My soul raced, awaiting Leo's arrival. Yet it proved to be nothing more than the resonance of my own anxiety. Still, the feeling of an approaching change, an unchangeable essence lingered in the environment. I shot a look at Miles, his expression serene in slumber, and pondered how much longer I could shield from the truth. When will the cracks in our connection would turn into apparent, not just from the distance he traveled, but from the hidden truths I now carried within me? The hours remained, and as they moved by, my resolve started to wane. I sensed the desire to express my ideas, to uncover my truths, to understand the events that unfolded, revealed. Who can I turn to? Sharing something so unusual is intriguing. The event was completely embarrassing, paralyzing. With the dawn's first light slipped in, casting a soft hue over the room. Amidst shades of orange, I discovered myself at a intersection. I would tell stories to my Clara, my sister. She was the one, with a calm mind, the one who could navigate through my haze, emotions. But can I really share that with her? The moment lingered in the air. I watched Miles stir, his eyes gently unfolding to intertwine with my own. Since, as dawn broke, he greeted his voice remained thick with the echoes of sleep. "Good morning," I said, responded, my voice scarcely above a whisper, bearing the weight of my secrets. The truth weighed more than ever. Within the quiet of our bedroom, as the first light of dawn broke, and I felt the weight of a decision hangs over me. The journey I undertook would define both my relationship and the core of my being. Morning light scarcely grazed the fading shadows that clung to my reflections. Miles, noticing my feeling uneasy, I suggested a walk to ease our minds, consolidate our ideas. "It will help for us, and Leo could definitely benefit from he commented on the workout, oblivious to the storm raging inside me. As I strolled, the town burst into life. The usual rush of morning tasks, starkly opposing the turmoil whirling within us. Leo dashed forward, his tail wagged, blissfully unaware to the discomfort he had unintentionally moved. I watched him try to connect the known, beloved companion and the mysterious that had permeated both my dreams and reality. Miles's grip, woven with mine. A gentle grip, it conveyed so much. "You've been somewhat, keep it reserved, my dear. What stories are lost in contemplation?" His voice exuded a gentle allure, beckoning discovery. While staying kind and empathetic, I restrained myself. The words twisted inside. How can I convey the inexpressible? Looking back on our journey, I imagine I traversed reality, veiled in doubt. He nodded, accepting the story I possessed, interwoven. The time we've spent apart has felt like an eternity. Maybe it's time for me to take a break from my adventures. Dive in, envision yourself here. The concept was intended to provide solace, but instead intensified the burden of regret. Myself, spending more hours at home, the boundaries of my concealed reality were palpable, more constrained, resulting in fewer moments to uncover its meaning. We crafted the journey home started as the day unfolded in a manner that seemed cozy and reassuring. Inside the garage, Miles lost himself in his tinkering, as I busied myself with tasks throughout the home. Every chore acting as a escape from persistent thoughts that loomed in my thoughts. Leo followed, his shadow trailed behind me, a haunting echo. On that fateful evening, as the sun slipped beneath the horizon, the warmth hung in the air, reflecting the inner chaos that wouldn't fade. Miles proposed. We feast on the porch, eager for the soft breeze. As we came together, the conversation turned more upbeat, yet my mind drifted, reflecting on the night with Leo, the thrill of uncertainty, Suddenly, the phone rang, bringing a wave of embarrassment. Chimed, shattering the tranquil silence of. As evening fell, Miles replied. A glimmer of joy lit up his face as he heard the familiar voice on the "How are you, Clara?" he asked from the other end. Handed me the phone with a warm smile. Grin. My sister's voice was intense. However, it also evoked a feeling of regret stirred inside me. "Hey, sis, how's life treating you?" she inquired. Everything is just peachy. Life is a delightful adventure, and I can't help but smile at all the little things that make each day special. Who needs to worry when there's so much joy around? Let's embrace the sunshine and keep our spirits high, whirling within me. It's a naughty web, I replied, my voice barely a whisper, a soft murmur. Miles sensed the shift in the ambience receded, granting us space, a bit of room. Clara, with her sharp intuition, caught the subtlety in my sound. What appears to be the problem? Your tone feels somewhat off. I paused, thoughts heavy on my address. Shall we meet for a chat? Let me share a story, truly intriguing. In that instant, time appeared frozen in time. When? If. Let's turn this into reality, tomorrow. At the lively downtown cafe, I will definitely be there. The contact ended, leaving me in a mix of relief and unease. Expressing my thoughts with Clara felt vital. Still, the thought of exposing my secret heightened its reality. That evening, as Miles and I lay in bed, his arm over me, I felt the weight of a hidden rift that remained palpable in the space that separates us. He breathed, calm, a gentle cadence. Still, my thoughts, overwhelmed by betrayal, not of the flesh, but of the faith, the whispers of commitment that shape the essence of a union. The next morning, I left early, saying I had errands to run, Yet my real destination lay in the cafe where Clara waited for me. The journey to that place felt like a sacred quest, a moment to reveal my wrongs. The town came alive with its usual morning energy, grind. To me, it appeared as a stage set for an untold story. Clara was there, her expression brightened with worry as she saw me. In our embrace, I perceived the first element in my meticulously crafted facade. While sipping, I shared my coffee, thoughts flowing joyfully, waterfall. Something unraveled, leaving me to contemplate its significance. I started, my voice gentle and uncertain. Clara leaned closer, an empathetic expression, eager to take in every word, provide me with all the details. While I remembered that night, the warmth surrounded me. Silence enveloped myself. Then came Leo, their actions caught me off guard. I created an evocative portrayal of feelings, chaos and regret. As Clara took in each word, her expression a mix of wonder and insight. While a prolonged silence settled in the chamber. Clara took a breath, profoundly. That's a lot to absorb. Finally, she spoke. However, keep in mind, you're not alone in this, yourself. We'll chart this course, next to each other. Her words saved me. As we spoke, an unsettling, the sensation lingered that this was just a prelude to something far greater, unfolding. As we bid farewell, Clara promised to contemplate it, to lead me through this unusual twist in my expedition. On my journey home, the weight of my concealed truths was palpable, growing heavier with each step. Upon my return, the house welcomed me, silence that communicated volumes. Miles had ventured out, perhaps, to the hardware store, or perhaps pausing near a neighbor's home. Leo greeted me with his usual fervor. However, her presence was a striking reminder of the chaos stirring inside me. While I remained in the living room, a heavy silence enveloped the air. Additionally, the phone rang once. Miles was the one. His voice brimmed with delight. Hello, my dear. I'm slightly off track. Considering grabbing dinner for us. Got any? What are your favorites? All is permissible. I replied, my voice hollow. Marvelous. Eagerly anticipating our next meeting. The call ended, leaving me enveloped in quiet. The walls of the house closes in, suffocating welcome. As dusk approached, the atmosphere thickened, laden with silent musings and the looming. The weight of my revelation lingered in the air. Miles re-entered, his face aglow with joy, utterly unaware of the storm raging inside me. As previously discussed, the ambience was laid back. My thoughts swirled, filled with hidden stories. What can I do to achieve this? Protect him from this? What can I do? Perhaps withstand? As night fell, the world, and we prepared to settle down for the evening. Anticipation flowed over me, indicating that something significant was on the verge of unfolding. Miles, burdened by the moment, I turned, with concern etched in his gaze. A story seems to linger, revealing. Yet, you keep it to yourself. Join me today. What are you thinking about? While I inhaled deeply, words poised to flow forward. A sudden interruption occurred, from Leo, who had remained quiet all along the night, bursting into angry barking at the back door. Miles stood up. Awakening, he felt a wave of confusion overwhelming him. What has awakened inside him? I followed, heart racing, thrumming with excitement. Miles opened the door, and Leo rushed in. His excited barks echoed through the night, in the stillness of night. We lingered there, watching him slip into the darkness. The silence envelopes us, electric with clear and distinct power. I've got something to share with you, I whispered, my voice barely audible, soaring above the far-off box. Miles gazed at me, his expression a mix of confusion and concern. Could you share? What is it? Beneath the stars shimmer as the night holds its breath. Inside, eager expectation. I came to understand that my next words could change the path of all things. I took a deep breath, the air fresh. The night air offers little solace to the chaos inside me. Miles's eyes were locked onto me, a mix of concern and curiosity, eagerly awaiting the moment my voice would break the silence that surrounded us. Miles, I began, my voice trembling. A small amount. I've carried a weight for too long, something that's been pulling me apart, inside. He edged closer, his hand expanding to grasp mine, offering comfort, unaware of the depth, the darkness he was about to face. Experience. Feel free to express your thoughts, dear. What's the problem? The words lingered on my tongue, each harder to let go than the earlier. A night brimming with memories that lingered once the stars have dimmed. A story unfurled, or maybe it was more of an incident that occurred. Since then, I've been struggling with it. Consequences. Miles furrowed his brow creased, his expression shifting from concern to confusion. Can you clarify what you mean? What does it mean? Could you tell me what happened? I turned my head, unable to maintain his gaze, my focus captured by the dark sketch of our backyard where Leo had vanished. On a night aglow with under the full moon, the air felt dense with, in that solitary moment, heat enveloped me. A deep feeling of isolation surrounded me, as if I were adrift in an expansive ocean, distant from civilization, surrounding me. He clenched my hand tighter. His hand urged me forward, his voice encouraging, soft. Express your ideas. I started to skip pajamas because of the heat. And that, in the evening, Leo stood alone, repose. He walked into our room, and I presumed he sought only solace. However, my voice quivered at the memory, rushing ahead with a clarity that propelled chills run through me. Miles's grip tightened, his face evolving into profound worry. What was his tale, dear? Once upon a time, there was a character who lingered close, his fervor tangible. He felt as if he went beyond merely being our companion. In a fleeting moment of doubt, fear gripped me as something unexpected unfolded. I paused, the looming words weighs heavily on my heart. Like I was betraying both Packet and the core of our union, I permitted him to remain nearby. I remained motionless, permitting, an unexpected event unfolded to happen. The ensuing stillness was intense. Miles's grip faltered. His expression remained a mystery, the gentle glow of the low light. Are you? Implying that you and Leo share a story. Care to share? I nodded, tears streaming down my face. My cheeks, burdened by the admission, a blend of freedom and scrutiny, woven into my being. Ambiguity wrapped me in a fog of bewilderment. It felt strange, yet in an instant, it felt as though I had transformed, watching my life unfold from an expanse. Miles turned away, his shoulders tense with unvoiced thoughts. I need a moment, he said, his voice trailing off, overwhelmed with feeling before pivoting and withdrawing into the house. I was abandoned, standing there, enveloped by the heaviness of my regret in the shadows. I stood there, weighed down by my revelation, hovering in the air like a weighty presence. Fog. The faint echo of Leo's bark permeated the atmosphere. A chilling echo of the unfolding events. Visions twirled in my mind, crafting the implications of this could be vast. For us, for our unity. Is it possible? The instant Miles catches sight of me through another round with the same lens? Could he locate it in to forgive something so peculiar, so distant from our previous understanding, common? Time appeared to stretch, every minute revealing an endless stretch of time. Finally, Miles returned, his face marked by resolve. I must, he spoke softly, barely audible, softly spoken. What caused this? What's unfolding? How could you permit that? What occurred? I'm uncertain, Miles. Since that day, I've been reflecting on it. Inquiry. It felt surreal. Expertise. A chilling glimpse from which I was unable to flee. I truly regret that. He stared into my eyes, searching for something deeper. Comprehension. Perhaps a reason that could light up the instant. Do you have feelings for me? He asked, his tone quaking. Definitely. This is paramount. This stays the same. In a moment of doubt, I discovered, lost in a fog of confusion, he raised a hand to stop my speech. I seek time. We must contemplate this as we progress on our journey, together. His gaze drifted into the shadows where Leo vanished. Additionally, what about that character? I'm not sure, I admitted, my voice barely audible. Clear. I've been avoiding him, wrestling with this a feeling of shame whenever we cross paths, intersect. Miles gave a nod, gently. His expression woven with emotions that slipped away from me. Comprehension. We'll find our way through. Let's unite. I need a bit of distance. He glanced back at the house, abandoning me beneath the celestial bodies. The night stands as a silent witness to the chapters of our lives as they unfold. I watched him leave, feeling the void between us grew with each step he took, crafted. With a soft click, the door closed. The echo of my revelation lingered. The atmosphere. The weight of my concealed reality, now exposed. One must contemplate the cost to be settled. In a realm where possibilities shimmered on the horizon, the journey ahead shimmered with dual promise, mystery and the burden of the unspoken inquiries. Amidst the silence of the night, with only the faint Leo's barking, I found myself reflecting whether this signaled the end of a journey begins anew, a daunting story. I remained there, the cool night air brushes my skin, my heart racing. I readied myself to reveal my truth. Miles turned and walked inside, leaving the door ajar like a wound barely closed. I stood outside, alone, staring into a night that now knew my secret. Leo lay near me, quiet this time, as if even he understood that silence was safer than sound. Was this an ending, or something much darker, the beginning of who I was becoming? Into the distance, shadows. Time stretched on without end as I sat in eager anticipation, the air thick with expectation, growing denser with each passing second. Finally, the back door opened to reveal a eerie stream. There stood Miles, his form bathed in a soft light, overflowing from the kitchen. The expression was mysterious, a tumultuous canvas, and ambiguity. He started, his voice weighed down. contemplating your words with deep emotion. Concerning Leo. He paused, his gaze drifting to the place where Leo stood, vanished. I'm speechless. It transcends everything I know. Fanciful visions. I nodded, feeling a surge of emotions, the weight of swirling emotions within me, honesty woven with the unknown future. I got it, Miles. I'm genuinely, apologies. I battled to discover the right path, to share this with you and to understand. I did it myself. He advanced, and the space between us expanded like an infinite quest. Ever wonder if it was just the warmth or maybe the loneliness? Or is there another story to tell? Reveal? The question hung heavily in the air, through silent stories. I trembled, my voice barely a whisper. Words failed to capture it, yet there was more beneath the surface. I felt like I was just a passenger guided by an invisible force. My journey. Miles's face turned solemn. His eyes searched mine for truth. Additionally, what's the deal with Leo? What are our next steps? With him? I'm uncertain. I admit the reality of our situation is evolving, increasingly clear. I've been avoiding it, weighed down by a profound sense of regret lingers whenever we meet. Miles turned away, jaw tight, firmly. This changes everything. It's a compelling story, isn't it? He spoke, gentle, like confiding in the shadows. Once, in our home, the life we shared was filled with a unique form of enchantment. The air was thick with uncertainty, stayed, unspoken. I reached out my hand, a tremor runs through me, longing to link with his. Miles, my heart aches, yours. This endures, unchanged. You must grasp this. He stayed with me, his hand felt light in mine, his mind wandered far away, gone. Time is essential. He echoed, his voice firm yet tinged with sadness. It is an opportunity to pause and reflect, process what has occurred. I recognized his longing for solitude, yet felt the widening gap between us. Experience. Take as much time as you need. I'll be right here, waiting for you. Return. Burdened by sorrow, he made his way back to the house. This evening, I'll be staying at the motel. I, seeking clarity in my reflections. The door closed heavily, a thud that echoed in the silence of the night envelopes me in solitude, distantly accompanied by Leo's mournful barks. I descend to the ground, the refreshing blades of grass holding me close. My thoughts swirl with this moment's implications for us. The journey ahead, could this be the end chapter? Can it be fixed? Trust woven through experience, a betrayal both strange and incomprehensible. Since I lingered in that moment, enveloped by darkness, the night enveloped me, like a warm embrace. The stars twinkle in the night sky, stand as silent witnesses, offering no solutions to the turmoil inside. I, on the brink of what awaited, shadows loomed as I stood there, positioned at a crossroads, uncertainty looms, path to follow. Emerging from the shadows, Leo, he emerged, tail still, eyes fixed, carried a profound sadness that echoed with my personal emotions. He advanced cautiously, as if he could sense the shift in the fabric of the world we live in. As I looked at him, this, who had been both comfort and a spark ignited chaos, I felt overwhelmed, in a flurry of feelings, frustration, regret, and an indescribable feeling. Leo, I whispered, my voice quaking. What stories have we spun? They sat beside me, his aura, warmth radiates against my leg, a hush, shadowy companion. I lingered. At that moment, the weight of the unexpected nature of revelation, Miles's reply, along with the strange, entangled ties with Leo encircled myself. I understood that whatever happened from this point forward, everything would be irrevocably changed. The evening opened, marking the beginning of a difficult chapter in our lives, one that would challenge the limits of love, faith and reconciliation. In conclusion, following Miles's heading to the motel, the days revealed in a fog of regret, a sense of doubt and an overpowering emotion of void. His absence, her presence enhanced the house's atmosphere, bleak, Amidst the silence, thick in the air, the floorboards creaked as the wind whispered. The trees mirror the chaos that awakened within me. Leo, sensing the transformation in our home, became my ever-present companion, his eyes locked on, filled with a mix of concern and an emotion beyond my comprehension. I averted my gaze, tormented by the whispers of that night, every memory piercing deeper than its predecessor. Mine days slipped away in a haze, the dull routine of daily life appearing to taunt the ease of ordinary moments, once treasured. I readied myself alone, quiet meals enjoyed, followed by wandering through the house, every step weighed down by the weight of my silent truth. The phone lay silent, empty of Miles's calls or messages, bridging the gap between us, unspoken and vast. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, brushing the sky in shades of orange, in that moment, a powerful urge washed over me. Break free from the solitude of my own presence. I contacted Clara, my voice quaking, my resolve slipping away. "Clara, can you stop by?" I asked, my tone gentle and uncertain. "Definitely. I'll arrive shortly." She replied, concern evident in her tone. Upon entering, an embrace enveloped me, warm and a soothing touch that appeared to revive me. We convened in the living room, the space where Miles I had woven countless dusk. Now, a haunting reminder of his missing. "I feel a little adrift, Clara." I revealed my truth, words flowing freely. "Forward. Miles remains quiet, missing from where he belongs. I'm overwhelmed with an overwhelming fear of his absence, for the betterment of my life." Clara inclined closer, her hand wrapped around mine, a gesture of offering, finding peace in the present. "It matters to give him the space he requires while also prepared for whatever lies ahead. This is not just a retelling of gatherings. It's a journey into the motivations and a path forward, an interconnected future." Her words erupted with illuminating intricacies with intensity, the complexities of our situation. We exchanged our musings until the stars dimmed, unraveling every moment, every emotion, striving to grasp the incomprehensible. As Clara left, she vowed to connect the next day. A resolve started to form within me. I had to confront this head-on, for Miles and for myself also. I aimed to uncover the story of my deeds and feelings, and their implications for what awaits us. On the next morning, I strolled into the nearby library searching for books on the study of the mind and behavior, connections, and also animal actions, excited to uncover the mystery behind that. Last night, I delved into the psychological effects of isolation, heat, and stories of human-animal connections that went beyond the unremarkable. As the day unfolded, for weeks, Miles's voice has been missing, grew ever louder. I wrote scattered notes, fragmented thoughts. However, the emptiness persisted. Leo, my silent, he observed me with a wise confidence. Stare. His existence resonates deeply. The evening that changed everything endures eternally. One evening, as I relaxed on the porch, the phone at last rang. My heart soared, yet it was Clara, not Miles. "I've been thinking." Her voice was soft and inviting. "Maybe it's time for you to connect with Miles, not just through actions speak louder than words. Show that you are engaged, steering through this scenario. You are not just waiting for him to decide your tomorrow." Her ideas sparked a fire within me. I realized which path I should follow. I created a small package, a message that conveys my journey within, my efforts to understand and explore my emotions, along with a tiny memento, a picture of us in brighter days, a symbol of our shared history. I headed to the motel where Miles stayed, sensing the excitement grows with every mile. Upon arrival, I set the package at a note at the front desk. "Please hand it to Miles." Upon his arrival, arriving home, relief enveloped me, partially, but sufficiently to permit to inhale more deeply. That evening, I slipped into a tranquil sleep, unburdened from the crushing weight of guilt that had haunted my dreams for weeks on end. With each passing day, as weeks passed, one morning while tending to the garden, I spotted a car. Noticed as I entered the driveway. Since Miles appeared, and my heart raced. An utter enigma. They clutched the package firmly, his gaze fixating on me with an intensity that said a lot. "I've read your letter," he spoke softly, filled with a whirlwind of emotions. "I've been pondering profoundly on our path, in the moments we have shared." I was anchored to the spot, the hose slipping from my grasp, clutched like water pooling at my feet. "I think it's time for us to have a authentic dialogue. It's not just about that evening, yet includes the whole of encounters." In a distant time, there existed a union brimming with aspirations, ambitions, a collective vision of what awaited in store for us both. The feeling of was relief, clear, yet it was paired with this awareness marked only a long journey begins. We perched on the porch, my usual place, where we wove countless stories, now the setting for an essential chapter. Miles started, his voice unwavering, his eyes searched mine. I may not understand everything, but I recognize your efforts to decode the intricacies. Thank you for we need to clarify our understanding, if we can prevail. Should the bond proves to be resilient. I nodded, emotions rising inside me. My heart is yours, Miles. I've been on a voyage of exploring one's identity, searching for a direction, healing that benefits me and others, and our bond. The conversation unfurled as the sun sank beneath the skyline, brimming with genuineness, and we exchanged our insights on healing requires stepping back, the path to rebuilding trust in oneself. One more. It didn't promise speed, a commitment to discover, to uncover the foundation of our affection could weather this storm. Since darkness enveloped the house as Miles moved, the decision to stay, not in our common room, but in the guest area instead. It was a quiet gesture, suggesting his embracing the journey ahead, together. That night, as I lay in bed, the soft patter of Leo's paws tapping on the floor outside the door echoed in my ears. He walked next to me, a silent witness, and now, perhaps he would testify to this, a new beginning. I invited him in. He took his place at the foot of my bed, his presence evolving into a symbol, a tapestry of guilt intricately woven with the strands of existence, affection, and the unexpected paths it may take us down. As night fell around me, the unknown unfolded before me, brimming with challenges. A glimmer of hope emerged as I drifted into sleep, hoping Miles and I can find our way back. To reshape our marriage, not connection, via the perspective of deceit, yet along the journey of comprehension and compassion. As the first light of dawn crept in, as the curtains drew back, a wave of readiness washed over me, for whatever awaits forward. I wasn't alone. Miles was with me. Leo was present. I carried with me the insights gathered from a summer evening that changed everything. If you discovered the story, engaging content awaits. Don't forget to subscribe and share your insights. This will help us create more engaging stories for